Yeah, so this is my new Bluetooth drive shaft. This is basically Bluetooth 3.0. Connects up there. Sometimes you have to pull over and just reconnect the Bluetooth when you're trying to go into 4x4, but it's not that big of a deal. Alright, today will not make you guys feel as good as it's gonna make me. But ever since we lifted this Jeep, I have been driving it like such a little bitch because I'm so scared of like messing up that front drive shaft, having it jam up on me. I haven't been having any fun, to be honest with you guys. Normally, I don't really care like if things break, whatever, but it's the middle of winter. This is my winter car. Like this is the only thing I'm driving in the winter. And I'm just fucking scared that I'm gonna break it or something and I'm gonna be hooped. Telling you guys we're gonna get a drive shaft ever since we lifted it. And today, whoosh, we got the drive shaft, baby. I just want to say that every company is having issues right now. It's been so hard getting so many parts recently. Tom Woods made and got this to my door in like 2 weeks, maybe. And I'm across borders from them, which is like really impressive, dude. I was so pumped. I was just like I told you guys, I've been scared to drive this thing, so I'm super stoked that it finally showed up. Before we get too into it, let's open this guy up. Check out what we're working with. Alright, dude, check this thing out. So this is a Tom Woods custom drive shaft. I told you guys that you could buy like a drive shaft to a pre-made, 4-inch lift kit, order me a drive shaft, but they always recommend that you measure. And the same thing that happened to me could happen to you guys where you put on a 4-inch lift and it's actually bigger than expected or whatever. I went the route of just measuring and getting my own drive shaft, and that's what I recommend to you guys because I would have regretted doing it the other way. I gotta measure from this face right here all the way to right behind all those Torx bolts. A measurement of about 38 1/8. So this guy, I think they just put this here so that when it ships, it doesn't like jam itself up. Because this is like a little spline, comes in and out. And this is a 1350 series drive shaft. So they actually don't offer a 1310 for the JL. Apparently the 1310s are underrated for the JLs. A lot of people don't actually realize how much better this generation of Jeep is. They do have a track record of breaking or whatever, being underbuilt, I guess, in the past. I've never owned a Jeep before this one, but what I can tell you is that they don't sell a 1310 because it's underrated for the new Jeep. They told me that everything on the new Jeeps is a lot beefier than previous generations, so you have to get the 1350. So you guys know I'm still new in the Jeep world, but one thing that I can tell you for anybody that's like, why the fuck did you get a new drive shaft? Like, what is the point of that? The point of a new drive shaft, especially in the front, is because, first of all, the transfer case that sits underneath the Jeep tilts towards the rear a little bit. I don't build Jeeps, I'm just telling you the facts. It tilts towards the rear a little bit, so it helps out the rear drive shaft, so it already has a bad angle going towards the front. When you lift the Jeep, the angle increases and it goes like this. And what a lot of people don't realize is it's not necessarily the longer drive shaft that you need. Like, yeah, you need a longer drive shaft. Problem is, you need this frickin' guy. You need these big ass 1350 joints. So I don't have the ability to like demonstrate these things for you, but I'm gonna leave a link down in the description below to a video showing like why to replace your drive shaft, as well as a link to Tom Woods' website. Obviously, if you guys need a drive shaft, check them out. They're extremely reasonably priced and super efficient and fast actually to get here. So just the front drive shaft being shorter is the main reason that we're tackling this one right now. The rear is one of those things you can leave, and if you have an issue, you can replace it. Front, it's already like short, so a little bit of movement increases the angle dramatically. And a lot of you guys commented when I lift this and you said like, oh, you just sent it and then you ended up binding up while you were driving on the road or whatever happened. But like I said, this guy is what we're really after. This allows for a ton more like movement and flexibility and actual just strength right here. And I think we replaced the entire yoke too. Like this comes, I think this goes into the transfer case. That's cool. Make sure you guys check out Tom Woods if you guys are in the need for a drive shaft. And check this out, for anybody that hasn't seen any of the past videos, this is the angle that we're dealing with right now, and this thing is sitting flat on the ground. So like that little nugget coming out of there, dude, is so close to being maxed out, it literally hurts. Oh, dude, that was way too easy. Look at this. Yeah, so this is my new Bluetooth drive shaft. This is basically Bluetooth 3.0. Connects up there. Sometimes you have to pull over and just reconnect the Bluetooth when you're trying to go into 4x4, but it's not that big of a deal, dude. In all seriousness, no, I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is the first time I've ever noticed how much the transfer case leans back. It's hard to get a camera angle underneath this guy, but you can notice when you look at that flat face up there. I doubt you guys can tell. I can barely even see the camera under here, but I'm gonna put this boy back in 4-wheel drive so I can bust that off. dude, I didn't even need the tool. That was sick. God, I love new cars. Big Daddy Dana. Oh my God, that's heavy. Boom. Dude, look how beefy that is. I don't even really understand what this is all about. I've never really seen that. The Jeep thing, I guess, but like it's just not like a common thing for me to look at. I really don't get it. Obviously, they just put like a little rubber boot dust shield around the joint that's in here, but it's just a weird way to have a joint. Tom Woods has like, you can go on their YouTube channel. I'll leave a link down below. They have tons of videos showing you how they build these things. Which like for me, looking at this, I understand this completely versus this because I don't know what this is. But it's just cool that like you can watch their videos and learn about their products and stuff and you actually understand what you're doing when you get it. So essentially this yoke we took out, we're gonna put the new one in. So basically right from the transfer case out, everything's gonna be fresh. The drive shaft itself is actually thinner and the placement of the extendo is different. So this drive shaft does, you can see this one's like bigger, but it's actually smaller right now. Can open and close with movement. And this guy obviously does the same thing. His is underneath this dust boot. And then down here, this is basically the same stuff. So there's a little grease fitting right here that I can re-grease this and make sure that I plunge out dirt and water and whatever after I take it through a pond or freaking mudding or something, which is very nice. And I opted for non-greasable U-joint. You have the option. I chose non-greasable because it's just one thing less for me to forget to do. This stuff all came greased, so I don't have to worry about anything. All I gotta do is put a little bit of oil in here to help it slip in, a little RTV in the grooves just to help it seal up, and we can go have some fun. Dude, look how much better this looks coming off the transfer case. A double knuckle system is how I would explain it. And it looks just so much, it's hard to find it for you guys. It just looks so much more natural. Like it doesn't look all jammed up. And check this out, when you spin it, you guys can see that it never really gets under strain at all. It actually like, the whole time you're spinning it, it looks like it's got a lot of room for movement, which is really cool. And I got my Jeep back, boys. So I'm stoked. Make sure you guys check out Tom Woods if you guys are in the need for a drive shaft. Contact them. They're really nice, really easy to talk to, and they're super, super helpful. And they make an awesome unit. So I think that leaves us with only one thing left to do. I thought we were here once and this was dirt. This is dirt, that's leaves. This is such a dumb spot to do this, but I couldn't find anywhere else to pull up. Yeah, see, my front wheel did travel up a little bit, but we're actually getting a pretty good amount right now. What's crazy is this is not even close to like maximum amount, because when we were doing it in the garage, when we first installed it, this piece would go, like the brake lines would go fully extended. It's kind of sick though, dude. That's the first time I've ever actually got to do anything cool with the lift. Dude, when you get back level with the ground, you realize how steep this thing actually is right now. And quickly, I didn't even ask you before, but ride quality versus how it used to feel.
Fine.
It seems the same.
Yeah.
I tell them that, but they also feel like I'm excited because it's my Jeep and I like it. This thing literally rides the same as it used to. It's a little bit more like
vibrating.
Like what Courtney's trying to say is like when you hit the crack in the road, you feel it a little more. But I think that's because the springs are a lot stiffer and we don't have like steel bumpers and all that stuff yet. Once I put a winch and a bumper and all that jazz on here, I think it'll weigh it down a little more. It'll be a little more squishy. It's like having a dually with no weight in the bed. It's a little bit stiffer than when you put some weight in the bed. I mean, it's a little bit stiffer like that. And I never even changed the springs. Like all of them, or sorry, the shocks. All of them are set to 3 for the rebound and the top adjustment. All of it is set to 3, which is like the midpoint, which is cool. And for the most part, we've been driving around really just like stupid little forest trails. Near our house, we didn't go out to do anything crazy, but I've had it in 4-wheel drive almost the whole time, just to make sure that the drive shaft doesn't just ejecto itself or something when I actually go to use it, which it seems to be doing really good, dude. Look at him up there, just loving his life. And it's honestly not even like that. Well, I guess actually we climbed up on that side, so if anything it would push it up a little bit. But one thing I did notice is that it's making a lot less drive shaft noise. So when you used to put it in 4-wheel drive and you'd be like driving down the road or like turning it, it'd be kind of like slapping the drive shaft. And it's not doing that anymore. It's doing it, but it's like barely doing it. It's like, I don't know what changes. I'm not entirely sure which portion of the drive shaft was causing the sound, but it's not really doing it, which is making me very excited because I hated that sound. It sounds like ass. But it allows you to do stuff like this, so that your drive shaft jamming up or popping out or whatever, causing problems. So that is absolutely sick. You know what actually I really want to do next is I want to get a winch, probably like a bumper and a winch combo, because right now like it's just me and Courtney out here. We're just trying to bull around. These aren't anything crazy. These are literally just, like I said, local trails. But there was a spot I really wanted to hit up that had a lot of like really rough trails where I could have just flexed this out on the trail. There's a lot of water there right now, and like half of it's ice and half of it's mud, and I don't want to go out there and then have to call someone to rescue me. So we play it safe. But I don't know. So like I said, the biggest advantage of the drive shaft obviously is it won't bind up. I can drive around confidently and do stuff like this that I'm doing right now, and I don't have to worry about it. And it just completes the lift kit. Like when you lift it this much, you just need it. So make sure you guys, like I said, check out Tom Woods. I'll leave a link in the description. I'm pumped. I know we didn't do anything crazy off-road today. It's kind of like a weird day. I've never got to use this guy because I have yet to actually do cool stuff. Oh, it's only 6 degrees. That's what the whole Jeep's at. The front axle's doing a lot more than that, but it's such baby numbers. Anyways, I'm super excited to actually be able to start beating on this thing again, or I guess in the first place. And that is pretty much it, dude. Still lots to do, but we're making killer progress. I hope you guys are pumped. I'm excited to just actually start adventuring out a little bit more and like exploring some of these trails a little bit more and finding some cooler stuff to do and show you guys. Because right now, like I just boot around where I live. I don't know, dude. I'm excited to really get into it. So that's all I got for you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out and stay committed.